everybody. Welcome to the Cannabis Wiki Conference and Expo 2022 from London, Ontario.
We got a lot of new hot interviews coming up next.
See you in the green room. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the green room live from the Cannabis Wiki Conference and Expo 2022 here in Southern Ontario. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Jackie.
Things are sticky and icky and yay on the green room.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have our next guest, Fady from All Risk Insurance. Is that it? Yeah. Okay.
He's our cannabis insurance expert.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know, we had to get insurance here. So I'm wondering, do you offer insurance like that, Fady?
Yeah, definitely. For events, we do. It's been tough for events because generally insurance companies only want to give what they have to. So they only want to take on risks that they're legally must, especially for new industries. So things like tourism and like events like this are a little bit challenging when you add that cannabis word in there, even though there's nothing different than any other conference.
You just have to add the word cannabis and everything goes sideways.
Everything changes, but yeah, definitely something we do, right?
Right, because you're all risk.
You got it. You got it.
Fady's not playing around.
Yeah.
Oh, I should get you I need some insurance from you because I'm a risk.
Yeah.
I got you, Jackie. I got you.
Derek's got special insurance for me too. It's like travel insurance. He's got that for me.
Jackie insurance, right? Yeah.
So who comes to you in the cannabis space and what are they telling you is what do they need? What's most important to them when they come to you?
Yeah, so we work with a lot of LPs, and obviously LPs have a ton of requirements legally of insurance that they have to carry.
Okay.
So that's one step is like, well, what do we need to even be allowed to operate?
Right.
And the other side of it is, well, what else can we do on top of that to actually protect ourselves? I always tell people that insurance is kind of your last line of defense. It's shouldn't be your like risk management strategy. Like, oh, well, we have insurance. Like, no, you should do other things to avoid even touching or using your insurance. So that's
Hey, wait, I'm interrupting. I hate that. So we pay into insurance my whole life.
Here we go.
My whole life, but then you don't really want me to use it because I do live my life with, hey, I got insurance.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's there to protect you if something happens.
Okay.
But, as a business, in terms of protecting yourself, you want to do little things to even avoid that, because even dealing with a claim is a headache.
It is.
Even
For
if you
sure.
get paid and you're back up and running pretty quickly, it's still something you'd rather not deal with.
Absolutely.
So it's just trying to do little things to prevent that.
So it's
even
kind of like a
happening.
life jacket. You should
You
wear a
got
life
it.
jacket.
You
You don't
got
just
it.
jump in the water, start drowning, and then try and find one.
You got it.
You
got it.
have it before you jump.
For
It's almost
sure.
like a condom, Jackie. You know what I'm saying? You don't just go in there and, hope that you can pull out.
Now my mind is fatty. Oh boy, oh boy.
I must
like
say,
this
I've
green room.
never had insurance kind of compared to a condom, but I
You
like
haven't?
it.
Because
I
that
like
makes
it.
sense.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Let's just do a bong rip. It's so funny. Fatty. Do you smoke weed?
Definitely.
Oh, and do
Yeah.
your clients know that?
For sure.
Do you ever
for sure.
run into stigma with that?
So originally a little bit, yes. But for me, I think that's actually what's worked for me is, a lot of the clients that we worked with also smoke.
Right.
So they didn't want someone in front of them that had any kind of stigma or even, didn't really know what the product was or how powerful it can be. So for me, when we would meet, it was like, here, roll this up, then we'll talk.
Right.
So the real ones, I think,
Feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and the ones that really care about it and the real ones that, understand it and are here for the right reasons definitely appreciated that. There are some who are like, and maybe we're not the right partner for each other, right? But yeah, I think that's really important. And that's one of the reasons, I was able to comfortably talk about insurance and weed together because I tell people I've been studying weed for 20 years. So,
You're doing some R&D for 20 years?
Exactly. So that actually helped me, build a little bit more of a trust because I knew the product and I knew what I was working with.
Tell us some of the specialized insurance that would be for cannabis. Obviously, you have maybe liability and all of that stuff, but what about say my crop got infested with something and I had to destroy it? Is there insurance for that?
Yeah, so there definitely is. Certain companies do offer it. It's a little tougher to get, especially with the insurance companies. What they say is it's tough to determine the value depending on what part of the cycle, the growth cycle it's in. So that's one of the reasons. But yeah, it's definitely available. It's just whether it makes sense for some. And the other, in terms of specialty, a big one is directors and officers, so board members of the company. Again, that exists for any company, but with cannabis, especially leading up to legalization, there was a lot of movement and money and investors, and for that reason, it's much higher chance that something's going to happen or you're going to be sued. And right now, we're actually seeing that. 3 of, I don't want to call them the top 5, but the big 5 are seeing a big class action lawsuit out of the U.S., and that could end up costing the insurance company, who knows, millions of dollars.
Wow.
So what is that about? Like, what is going on?
For sure. So the directors and officers insurance protects the board members of an organization. They can be held personally liable for the decisions that they make. So if you come up here and promise the world and something ends up happening, they can be personally sued, like for their personal
like a pump
assets.
and dump. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of those going around. Hopefully those people are kind of washing out now.
For sure. So the insurance company says, yeah, we'll protect you, if your investors bring up a lawsuit against you, but obviously there's certain requirements and exclusions, etc.
Right.
But it's made, not to protect you from negligence. Like if you purposely go out and do something silly, that's on you. But really with most insurance policies, what you're doing is you're purchasing a lawyer. Right? You have someone who's going to defend you if something happens.
Right.
Whether you're right or wrong, that's determined later in court, right? But what you're doing is having someone there that's ready to respond to the lawsuit.
What do you think about that Geico thing where the $5.3 million claim because the lady, they had sex in the car, so now they're suing the auto insurance because she got an STD in the car, so she technically got hurt in the car, so they're suing the auto insurance.
Yeah, I actually saw that. And,
oh my goodness.
Did you hear about that one, Jackie?
No, I did not.
So I believe they actually got paid. Like I believe the result came out and she got paid for
she
something.
got a judgment.
She got like a big judgment.
Wow.
So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, that's the US for you though, right? Like they'll sue for anything. And I think that's one of the reasons insurance companies here in Canada at least try to stay away from the US.
Right.
Because they're way more litigious. Like they'll sue you for having sex in an Uber.
Is there, when we're talking about liabilities and we're talking about the cannabis space, is there a base minimum insurance that they have to have, like X amount liability? Is it in the million? What do you got to have?
Yeah, for sure. So retail stores, originally the OCS said, if you want to do business with us, you have to carry 10 million in liability insurance.
Oh, wow.
And 10 million is high, right? Like there's no need for that for a store.
Wow.
Most, just to give you an idea, most regular stores, so like a convenience store, even a restaurant, they'll probably carry 2 million.
Right.
That's kind of where it starts. So if you're a little bit bigger, you might get to 5. But yeah, they quickly realized that 10 million was a little excessive. And I would say maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, they dropped it down to 5 million.
Okay.
Which is good. That means somebody's looking and saying, hold on, something's wrong, right? And then on the LP side of things, yeah, there's also a product recall requirement from Health Canada that you do have to have 15 million in product recall coverage.
What's that mean in case something you get mold, in case things come back?
You got it.
Okay.
Exactly. So if you have to recall your product for various different reasons, it could be a labeling error.
Did you say 15 million?
15, 1 5.
Wow.
That's correct. And that the cost of that can get expensive. So we have some smaller micros and smaller clients who are like, we can't afford that today, and we'll just have to kind of self-insure. And
what does
really
that mean, self-insure?
Yeah, so basically, if you can't afford insurance, you want to try to put something away or put something aside in the event of a claim.
Okay.
So you try to build a little bit of a strategy and say,
is that legal?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of meeting the requirement, so if you don't have recall coverage, you won't be able to sell into Health Canada. But if you're selling B2B, so you're going through someone else
wholesale
who has the license and has product recall, then technically you still need it for yourself, because you're still supplying it to somebody else.
So I'm Greenway and I'm supplying to Motif Labs, and then they're processing it, and then they're putting out the product. So now Motif has to have that insurance. So would you say that Greenway has to have it too?
So Greenway would have to have their own type of recall just to protect themselves,
not because Motif puts a claim.
Yeah, or just exactly. You got it.
Okay.
Exactly. So not necessarily because of Health Canada's requirement, because something could go wrong with this transaction.
Right.
So it's more Greenway protecting themselves in the event. Really, you're protecting your investment, right? So it's really them protecting themselves in the case something goes wrong. So there's that requirement, like you were asking, Jackie, from the provinces or from the the Health Canada. But on the other side of it is like, what are you doing to protect your B2B or just protect your business in general? Like, these facilities cost millions of dollars. You shouldn't wait for an insurance claim, right? To make sure it's protected.
Especially sometimes we know how long those claims can take.
Yeah.
So then how you can operate.
Exactly. And that's why, a good risk management plan is really important. And Jamie from Greenway was on our talk yesterday about risk management. And it was really cool to see how they look at risk management. Some companies look at it as, a headache, as an expense, insurance, and it's kind of extra work. Right. Others build it into their SOPs to say, you know what? No, this is how we do things.
Right.
And that, it's really refreshing to see that.
It's almost like the cartel, right? When they lose a load, it's already built into the price.
Yeah.
Thank you for keep taking it back to my lanlanguage.
Yeah. I like it.
Fady's like, okay.
No. I like it.
Do you, Fady?
I do.
So
I do.
Insurance is interesting to me, but it's like, really?
Yeah, tell me about it, right? Like, anyone hears insurance, they turn around and run the other way. So I always make sure I throw in cannabis first before I say insurance.
Cannabis insurance.
You got it. And I think that's one of the things that I've kind of made important for me is, fine, insurance sucks. We all need it,
but
right?
We all need it.
How can we make it a little more interesting, a little more fun? And for me, because it's cannabis and something that I'm passionate about, it made it really easy to kind of reflect that, whether I'm dealing with the insurance company, whether I'm dealing with our clients, just to really show how much I care about it.
Do you pick up a lot of clients on LinkedIn?
I do.
Do you use LinkedIn properly? Because I think you do. I
don't know how properly, but I'm definitely active on social media, and I think I don't think I'm fully utilizing it the way I can.
Because the cannabis space on LinkedIn, the cannabis business community is really thriving. It's building it's daily getting bigger and stronger.
For sure. I personally like Twitter. I think there's a really cool community.
Such a salty person, aren't you? What the heck? I personally like Twitter. Twitter gives me nightmares like most days.
I don't know about recently, but I found that there was a really good kind of community. Forget business-wise. It was a little more of an actual cannabis community.
Right, that's true.
I kind of like to see that a little bit.
That's true. We like to see
Tell us a story, and don't name names, obviously, but like a story of where somebody may have came to you. They had the business plan, they had everything ready to go, and maybe they weren't able to get insurance. What happens there, and is there any creative solutions?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say early on, there was only one or two companies who were even doing some of this stuff. So yeah, there was situations where, a D&O, for example, a directors and officers insurance policy, at the time, if you were doing any business in the US, it was a huge no-no. And we literally had to look at some international companies who would try. I almost flew to Bermuda to try to get insurance. I don't know if it was for insurance or for my own selfish reasons.
I was like, what? You flew to Bermuda to get insurance? I just call a number.
Yeah. No, I did speak to them, and I was like, do I have to come there? But, so there are certain situations where it's a challenge, right? Especially early on. One, maybe affordability. So they, if the insurance company is going to do it, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Or they're like, nope, you're entering the US, sorry, we can't help you. Or they'll have, exclusions. So they'll say, yeah, we can still do this, but if any claim comes out of the US, you're on your own type of thing. So, you definitely have to find unique ways to mitigate that risk. And I think, one, self-insuring for people starting out, if you do it the right way and if you put a plan in place, it'll really help. Just navigating that, right? Not everything is insurable. Right. There's some things that you just can't insure. And I think understanding
boobs, can you insure boobs?
Yeah, I believe so. Body parts, I've seen insurance policies for body parts.
Didn't the lady from Entertainment Tonight insure her legs? Remember that? Once upon a time, there was the original...
I've heard of some butt insurance as well. Some of that,
Derek says, I said, oh. He said,
I wonder what a claim would look like, right? Like, what?
I like to get I need to get my butt insured. I say it's perfectly flat. It's perfect. I don't want it to be messed up at all. I can sit like a champ all day and night. Sit there, smoke my weed. Fady, again, social medias. How can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Fady.allrisksinsurance. I'm on LinkedIn.
FADY.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it. I'm on LinkedIn, Fady Kamel. Our website is retailcannabisinsurance.com. And we help a ton of retailers here in Ontario and Alberta. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. Finally get to do the show with you guys. I just wanted to add, I really love, everything you guys are doing. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. You guys keep it real. And for me, that's first and foremost, man. If you can't keep it real in whatever you're doing, like, why are you even out here? So I love how you guys are keeping it real and sticking to your guns, right?
Aw, you're keeping it real in the insurance.
Thanks, Fady.
Cannabis insurance
Thanks
expert.
for sponsoring and being a part of this expo. Next year, you got to bring the van.
Sure.
We'd love to have the smoke van.
Bigger and better, bigger and better.
Yeah, we love seeing you out and about.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being on the Green Room, Fady.
Cool. Peace.
Peace.